one more thing that I want to talk about that struck me when we were talking about this. Ways to make a living off parkour. Like,
yes.
Like you said, there's like one. You coach, or you own a gym that coaches.
There's performance.
I mean,
there's performance.
Yeah.
Performance is almost outside of parkour, though.
Oh, branding is
because talk to all the stunt guys, and it's like, how many gigs do you actually do something where you're like, yo, did you see that dope line I did in Batman?
You're just like, yeah, I did a thing, but it's
right.
So I mean, yeah, like pretty much every.
You're still hired as a parkour.
Yeah, but you're not able to. You're not able to practice what you do for that particular gig, really.
Right.
That you might get hired upon, like, you know, oh, you're amazing, and we think we could probably teach you some fight skills or some falls to kind of put with this, but you're not being hired for probably what you think is really cool with what you do.
Well, they started, talking to a couple of Tempest guys, they were saying that they started hiring people as parkour athletes as cheaper stuntmen. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you don't read the contract right, they can hire you and say, all right, I'm going to throw you down the stairs. And then you just be like, no, I'm here to do parkour. Like, no, look at the contract, we're throwing you down the stairs. And it's really like, you know, there's a fine line for stunt work and stuff, and I've heard of stories like that. So it's like, you know, when it comes to performance or stunt work, it's like it's like a cheap stuntman. That's how people perceive parkour sometimes. So it's like,
kind of how it was early days. I mean, there's a lot more now.
Yeah.
Well, we actually know what having a manager and a stunt coordinator means.
Yeah.
Then yes, you can run a job, and it can even be pretty parkour focused, parkour style. There aren't that many opportunities. So like, there isn't, as a career path, it's very limited because it's just like becoming a famous actor. Somebody who's going to make a living being an actor, not easy either, right? So you want to make a living becoming a parkour performer, definitely not, just be.
What do you guys? It's really interesting that I think parkour has really just changed the stunt industry, though.
Yeah.
A lot of stunt people are now like, it's like a requirement almost.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a background in parkour.
Yeah, we have so many people coming.
Yeah, so many of our members are in film, but it's Vancouver, so that's a big part of it.
They're there every day, though. It's impressive.
Yeah.
But they started as stuntmen, and then they came to the facility to learn parkour, so they could use it for their career. And there's very few, I think, going in the other direction as far as parkour athletes learning stunts or fighting.
It's actually been surprising, kind of the evolution of that, because a lot of guys would come in to their first class. Oh, yeah, how'd you run the gym? Well, I want to do stunts, and they said like, I should probably do parkour, and I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be gone in a month. But it's been surprising the evolution of that, of how they realize, hey, this isn't actually the level I'm getting to. Some of the things I'm learning aren't actually helping with my stunt career, but now I actually enjoy parkour. I actually have quite a few guys now that I think are, I'll call them like parkour guys instead of just some stunt guy that comes to the gym.
Yeah, they're interested in moving up the level system too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was interested in what you said about branding, though, as far as like
I
avenue.
think the newest very prevalent way of becoming of making a living in parkour is branding now. So making a clothing brand or Store Farang. Those guys are doing it very, very well, making a lot of money off of it, but not even past.
They're making a lot of money off of it.
Are they?
No,
they're making.
They're making money.
Yeah, they're making some money.
They're making little money off of it.
Yeah. I heard some stuff about Sasha eating bread, and that's it.
I think the Star guys choose to do that.
Okay,
I feel.
So you think? Okay.
I don't think they live with their parents.
Yeah.
What's
Do they live with their parents still?
I don't know, but but that's the lifestyle they want to live.
I want them to do well.
Yeah,
I want parkour clothing to be a huge thing.
Yeah, they're really pushing for that, and I feel like the Story guys don't care about living the really crazy lifestyle. They just want to go do cool stuff, and they're making enough money to go do cool stuff, and that's what they want to do. That's great.
I think they need to, and the brand needs to be able to grow, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It needs to be able to grow so that, because I think the end goal would be to be able to sponsor other people so that they can live their dream.
Yeah.
And be able to do parkour for a living and just be sponsored by a store. Just wear a store shirt in all their videos, and then they get some money.
in the same kind of like way as skate went.
Yeah.
I think it's currently building up from whatever fits their personal necessity. They want to travel and they want to make videos, it seems like mostly. They don't really seem to want to branch out much right now, but they're all still very young.
I mean, maybe someone else can make a brand and push it more towards athletes.
Well,
you know?
Storm, like they sponsor now 3 athletes that aren't official Storm team members, but they're like Storm sponsored athletes, which is
really cool.
Yeah, what is involved in that? You know? Does anybody know?
Exactly. Curious, actually,
They just get
who
free
here
shirts,
has a sponsorship?
Okay.
Just real quick.
Like, what is this? Can you define?
Joey, name a sponsor.
Take Flight.
What do you get?
I get, well, when I sign a contract, I get money per month and free clothes.
You get money. That's
You get
awesome.
money?
I actually want to talk
No,
about
but
that.
that's like legit.
No,
If you're getting like actually a little bit of money,
Yeah.
like cash, not just because honestly, and if it's a small company, that's all they can do. If if all Storm has really to offer is like, oh, you can have some free clothes from us, and we'll promote you too. Is that then okay? But that's what a real clothing sponsorship usually is. Like for a professional athlete, is you get paid to wear the stuff.
And I actually wanted to talk more about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
As far as I mean, granted, there's a lot of tiny brands and companies that are trying to build up and getting sponsors to try to grow, so they don't have any money to do that with. But the idea of like team sponsorships and company sponsorships, should they be paying athletes, or are they just like chill giving them clothes? Like, what do you guys think?
Well,
Because
like you said, to be a legitimate sponsorship, like with the name sponsorship, that includes being paid. If it's something else, you're more of an affiliate, I would say.
Yeah, if you're just getting free, that's not free clothes. Is not really. You're actually
flow.
probably doing more for that company.
Exactly.
And not to say that if a company wants to give you free stuff, you should be like, no, you should be paying me for that. Because honestly, like, what kind of audience do you have to offer? But I mean, but maybe you do. Like, it could be worth putting out there, and it's kind of up to you. But a real sponsorship is you get paid to wear stuff.
I think that comes down to like your personal discretion of that company. So say like a company approaches you and you're like, oh, we can offer you free clothes, and you're like, I don't really care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't take it. But if you believe in that company, we're at a point in this community where I think it's just as much about the athletes helping bring those brands up if they believe in them. So like, Vinnie, I don't really like him, but I like what he's doing. And so I'm technically like the sponsored athlete of Move and Inspire. I don't really get that much, but I believe way more in what the brand of the company is doing, and I want to promote that so that it can become something that can bring back more to me in the future. And so I think it's we're in a very grassroots phase of that, and so I think it's important to really put your name, if you have it, behind something you care about.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the economics of like skatewear, but I'm pretty sure that they're able to pay athletes to wear their stuff.
Oh yeah,
because they're selling a lot of skate shirts to people who aren't on skateboards.
Yeah. That's the advertising.
And like I don't know, at some point, parkour brands are gonna get there. Maybe people are gonna show up in entry forts, even though they don't do parkour, just because they want.
It's probably going to bleed into the movement community, like calisthenics and CrossFit and stuff like that, in some way.
Yeah, coming from like a place where like not a lot of money is given you for being an athlete. Like in Mexico, no one supports you. You have to get creative. And like asking Joey's question about living like the parkour dream, it's pretty damn hard being down there. But you can manage to it. Like I've done stunt work, I've been sponsored, I've been teaching classes and doing workshops all around Mexico. That's the beauty of it, I think. Like as a parkour athlete, it's not just comes down to just go and do just one stuff, like go and compete or something. You're able to do a bunch of stuff. And like comparing to skateboarders, like they have their camera guy, they have their edit guy, they have their like merchandise guy, and they have everything. And we have to do everything right now. We have to do all of that us. We have to be posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram, doing our workshop banners, managing our trips and travels and stuff. And I think that's amazing, and that's beautiful. And I think like right now, like parkour is going to the competition part of things, like skateboarding, like prizes are gonna be bigger and bigger and bigger, like cash money, and that's how it's gonna grow, socially wise, because that people, like if you invite people to a jam, they'll be like, oh cool, people just jumping around and having a good time, right? But if you like sell it as a competition, people will be like, oh dude, there's 10 athletes like best in the world, like going for the first prize, and they're more natural involved in that because they've seen that format before with other stuff, and they will start, I don't know, maybe pay for going to see that kind of show, or more brands are gonna be involved, and they're like, oh, people are seeing this. Maybe I'll do like a Nike free running shoe specifically for this type of thing, and people will like it. And they'll say it, and
People
then I'll
are
have,
seeing this.
and then
That's the most important
and then
thing.
having like normal people be like, oh yeah, I love free running guys. I bought this shoe that they use because it's like ergonomic and has grip and stuff, you know. and that's how it marketeers. That's the truth, and that's how they sell. That's how you reach outside the parkour community. Because the truth is, we're a small community. Like we think we're big, we're not. We're just a piece of nothing.
Yeah, no, like who sees parkour? Like realistically, what is the parkour audience right now? It's other parkour people.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going back to what you said about skateboarding. Is that like non-skateboarders have to buy skateboarding clothes because they think it's cool. Yeah. And how are they gonna get exposed to that? Well, they need to be exposed to it through things like media, competition. Like competition is a huge thing. Actually, I think it's underdeveloped in the sport so far. There's not enough competition. Not enough people see competition, and they're basically not able to see parkour done. You know, just like, you know, they can go on YouTube and see, whoa, crazy stuff, but like is that TV? It's not TV. So it's not going to get as nearly as big of a following. I mean, it's not like every video is getting 1 million views. Yeah. So yeah, people need to see it and more exposure. Whether it's through competition or if anybody else has any ideas like videos or whatever, then that's going to be the catalyst that actually gets the money flowing. Because what is a sponsorship? Yeah, I mean, it's marketing for the company, right?
It's a relationship. You guys are talking about things. I find it really funny. I've been sitting here talking about brands and clothing, and you talk about store, like these kids that live in their parents' house, and I love them, but I know some of their financial situations because we used to pay them money. And talking about brands and this type of stuff. You guys have a brand, which is legit, by the way. But like this is what I do, guys. Like we're talking about store and storm. Like it's funny that this conversation just stayed here, and I'm like, I had to get up and get water because I'm like, why are you guys even speculating? I know all the answers to these questions. What is sponsorship? We've been doing it for 7 years. We sponsored Pasha. We sponsored Sean Wood. We sponsored David Bell. And we sponsored someone. You go to Art of Motion, there's 5 or 6 guys competing that we sponsored. Luis Alcmin, Stanislav Lazdan. We sponsor all these guys. You know what I'm saying? We paid these guys money. We have for years. Toby Seeger, we gave him our biggest contract 2 years ago until Kai Willis did his thing and he kind of got cold feet on that relationship. But I mean,
why do you do that sponsorship? What is the catalyst for you, like that you're like not just creating a relationship between the athlete, but like what is it doing for your brand? Because it has to be some benefit, right? It's mutual exchange, right?
It's mutual exchange. Well, all life is mutual exchange. Friendships, romantic relationships, business, everything's mutual exchange. So
but you want your brand to get out there.
Absolutely.
Right. So you're asking the athlete to wear your clothes and maybe give them some money or whatever, so that they can show your brand to an audience.
Absolutely.
Right? And if there's no audience there, then would you pay them? There's nobody that's going to see.
It depends on what we do. I think it depends on
because that would just be charity work.
Maybe, or it's art, or it's art, right? I think we all have times in our lives that we do stuff without financial value. Is that charity work? Maybe, or maybe it's like I want to live my life this way, and I want to be creative. You know what inspires me? When we pair athletes on Take Flight, we have for 3 years, okay? And I don't know anybody else who's doing it. And we don't talk about it. We don't talk about how much money we've given. People are like, why don't you do this, this, and this, and this? The reason why we don't talk about it is because the essence of humility is not to talk about it. So you either have to trash your own humility to say, hey, this is what I've done, or you be humble and let people trash you. And I'll say, all right, well, we're cool. I'm happy with the guys I work with. I'm happy with my friends. I'll let people trash me. All right. The question being is that what inspires me the most to give money to the guys on the team is when they do something that I find beautiful. When DeAndre makes a video, he made a video called Time. I've told him this like 5 times since he's been here. One of my favorite videos ever. It's got like 5,000 views on YouTube. Like not a lot. Like that should be to me, that video is here in my book. And it's like, DeAndre, whatever you need, dude. Because we're creating something together. And that's family. You know, you give money to your kids. Is that charity? Or is it because you love them? Right? So yeah, there's a business component to everything we do. Life is selfish. We're all selfish. Every action we do in life, if you want to get philosophical, is to get yourself benefit. Even when you give to somebody, it's so that you can feel better or something like that. But that's okay if the heart's right. Right? There are different levels of sponsorship. There's a sponsorship where we say, a kid doesn't have a pair of shoes. We say, hey, make us a video. You got a video camera? We'll give you a pair of shoes. They just made $50 spending 2 hours making a video. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a fair exchange, you know. There's other things where you say, wait a second, your presence, or the video Joey makes, I say, Joey, I want our brand associated with you because you inspire people. That's worth money, right? So there's that exchange. So the sponsorships are different levels, and I think you guys understand it. But I think it all be sponsorships. You can call it affiliates or call it ambassadors, call it friendship, call it working together, call it a team, call it whatever you want. They're all just labels, right? Bruce Lee talks about it, right? Talks about labels, right? But forget the label. Like, what is it? What's the essence of what we do? You know what the biggest label we have in this group is parkour. I guarantee you, if you're all down definition of parkour, we're going to have 12 different definitions. That's a label. But we've moved past that as a group to say, what are we doing? Like, let's get beyond that and just like have something that connects us and then forget all the rest. Let's do that. As a community, as teams, as gyms, we got off the topic, which I was really enjoying, about why can't we work together? What can we do? And I think that had a lot more in it. You don't have to get to it. But I think it's because of labels. There's a lot of other reasons why. But we can get beyond that and say, let's help people. Because that's what it is, right? If you have a pair of shoes, someone's going to say, oh, you're trying to make money. Well, yeah, I want to make a living, right? But I also want to bring something they value. That's what helping people is, right? Money is kind of an accumulation of helping people. Like, there's scamming ways to do it where you cheat a lot of money. But if you have a lot of money, it means you helped a lot of people, right? You can look at Justin Bieber or Taylor Swift and say, oh, you're just rich or whatever. They've touched millions and millions and billions of people in their lives. They deserve to have that energy, right? So now I'm like getting all philosophical and stuff, but these ideas go really deep. And I see sponsorships as relationships with people, and we're building it. And I'll tell you, the sponsorships we have at Take Flight, it's really, I try, first of all, to be honest and open with everybody. It's never like, oh, work with us and your life's going to be set, because it's not how it works. And number two, it's what's best for you. So we were sponsoring Toby, gave him the biggest contract we ever gave anybody. He actually approached me. We sponsored him for 1 year and paid him, and then he came to me and said, I want to take it to the next level. I want to get paid this much money. I thought about it, and I said, okay, Toby, like, I like you a lot. Like, we'll figure out a way we'll do it. And then stuff started. He wasn't really as passionate anymore about it. And it's just, Toby, if you don't want to work with us anymore, like, that's fine, dude. Like, that's fine, dude. Like, I wish you'd work with us. I like you. I like your work. I like your vision. I like what you bring to us. But I'm not here to, like, put you in a cage, dude. Like, if you don't want to be a part of this, like, that's okay. That's the relationship to say, what's best for you? How can we help you? And if we can't help each other in the right way, then let's not get married, you know what I mean? So I really believe in helping people. And again, I've tangent a lot, but and I'm sorry for chiming in and cutting everybody off, but the sponsorship talk is about relationships. And some people will get sucked in, just like certifications. I think some of the certifications are silly and ridiculous, and I have articles I've written why no one needs a certification. But some people do need it. Everyone finds the value. Everyone finds a teacher in a different aspect of their life, whether you follow David or Yamakaze or Sebastian Foucan or Parkour Origins. You're going to find something that resonates with you. That's what's important in life that we find.
Like an example, like a personal example, like sponsored by Take Flight. My goal is being a professional parkour athlete, okay? So my idea is like, you know, what I just said about competitions. So, okay, let's start getting some curriculum for competitions, you know? first competition I went was in Parkour Visions one, Seattle 2 years ago, and I didn't have money to get there, so I asked Adam for it, and he supported me with it, and he's been supporting for me like a lot of trips and a lot of places I've been to compete or do parkour stuff because of it. And I think that a brand has to do that in order to like have athletes that believe in it, you know. And that's why I'm still with Take Flight. I'm gonna still be with Take Flight because we have that vision that of helping each other. Maybe I want to be a parkour athlete and compete and go around the world, you know. Maybe I don't know, Joey wants to like do his gym and maybe Take Flight can fund him a bit with it, or DeAndre wants to do another gym or whatever. And having a brand that's so flexible and be able to like help you with your dreams, that's just invaluable.